No, he wasn't just mean to her. He was a psycho freak harassing this poor girl. Are you serious? And we're acting like this is just normal 20-year-old relationship behavior. This guy was a total psycho freak to this girl. What the fuck? Yes, I did do that absolutely insane thing, correct? Well, no, this is the problem. There's no date, time, year. There's not even a year. At most, maybe he got a couple of websites taken down, and he's here LARPing like the Doom guy fighting pedos in hell. Bro, this is. I don't really know what to make of this, okay? Because I'm a very anti-cancel culture guy, okay? I'm an anti-cancel culture guy. But I do think that Mamamax kind of got away with murder, to be honest with you. Right? Basically, what triggered this thought process, is that I was watching Queeman's stream yesterday, right? Have you followed any of the Rakaita stuff? Is it true that he's descended into lolcow status? Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I'd say so. That's probably fair. He was reviewing some Boldo thing. I don't know, man. He's a bit cringe. Anyway, yeah, so I'll just explain for those who didn't know. I was watching Queeman's yesterday, and he was covering the allegations, which I covered ages ago. And I can't remember exactly what I said about them, but I think I had a great take on them. Anyway, I then watched Mamamax's response, and I think I was critical of some aspects of it, and there were some things he did that I thought were a bit, you know, a bit skeezy. But he kind of like, when I say he got away with it, I mean, I'm not expecting him to be punished by the court of public opinion or something like that. Right? But like, no one really seemed to like talk about it properly. Like, Queeman watched this clip from the Some Ordinary podcast, and Mutahar was on there with some VTuber guy and someone else. And they were like totally sweeping for him. It was wild. Because the thing is, Max himself admits that he was being a psychotic freak. In his own video that he made about it, right? He admits that he was being a total psycho freak with this girl. In that he admits that, yes, he did put on Facebook a video of him like cutting himself because this woman had moved on. He did admit that the police were contacted in regards to his behavior and police reports were filed. Like, it's honestly mind-boggling to me that I'm not saying he needs to be fucking destroyed or anything like that, but when he came out with his response, despite the fact in the video he said, yeah, guys, I was a total psycho freak and I made this woman's life fucking hell, right? I know there's a few details of a story that are wrong, but yes, I was a total psychotic freak and I strung myself up by the bed at military because she got with someone else, right? People were just like, yeah, it was a bit mean to her, but that was about it. No, he wasn't just mean to her. He was a psycho freak harassing this poor fucking girl. Are you serious? And this is coming from someone here who, you know, I am very critical of like shitty allegations and stuff like that. And there were some parts of the other aspects of the video that I think the allegation video which were quite weak. But like the first woman's story was pretty fucking robust. Yes, he did do some of the stuff. At least it's proven, and he admits himself that he did at least a big portion of the stuff that is claimed. He was a psychotic freak that stalked and harassed this woman. Yes, he did do that. I mean, why is the way people speak about it after the fact? People are just like, well, yeah, he was a bit mean, wasn't he? And all the allegations. No, there's police reports, contemporaneous police reports, and a message of him apologising for the psycho behaviour as well. But people talk about it like he was just, you know, badly maligned. And I just don't think that's really fair. I think if you're going to talk about it, you've got to do it in a way that accurately represents what he did. And I'm not saying he needs to be destroyed or anything like that over it. I don't really agree with that. But to act like it was just a minor relationship issue is fucking insane. When he was filing police reports against this fucking guy. Bro, it's nuts. What he was doing was crazed. Maybe he's changed somewhat. I mean, other people say they've had issues since. I don't think it's quite as bad as what he did then. So he probably has changed. But can we at least talk about it accurately if we're going to talk about it, for fuck's sake? And the other thing to bear in mind as well, okay, further to that, is the second girl's story where she claims that she was 17 and he claimed to be 18 when they meet, and then later found out he was older, all that business, you know, goes on to say that, like, a talk about a rape that can't really be confirmed or whatever, one way or another. But, like, I was thinking, and this is something Queen pointed out, which is a very good point, and it got me to thinking, what would Mamamax do if the tables were turned? What would Mamamax do if he found out about someone who was doing that sort of situation? Like, he would probably cut some sort of video about them or criticize them at least, wouldn't he? But yeah, he's allowed to do it with kind of impunity. And then with the Olivia person, he misrepresented the call. So I remember when I covered it, I thought that the call was like massively out of pocket. Because he put a minute of a call in that made Olivia look bad, but when you listen to the full context of the call, it didn't paint quite the same impression. So he kind of played silly buggers in his response too. And I think that what happened alongside his friends defending him, extremely unreasonably and ignoring large portions of the evidence. I think the Johnny Depp stuff was happening at around the same time. So I think what he was able to do is take advantage of the Amber Heard effect. The Amber Heard effect being that, and this is something the press reported on, is even people that were saying, yes, Johnny Depp was in the right in this situation. The Amber Heard effect is that this will be used to give cover to other people who are actually doing bad things. And I'm fairly certain, I don't know where this was exactly, but I'm fairly certain I saw somewhere that he had, like, gone and made a comment about, like, shitting in the bed, alluding to or talking about referencing the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing. So he was, like, literally using the case as a way of kind of, you know, pointing to it as a way to kind of defend himself, you know? So it's not just the fact that he went after Magnetar at the end of the video that was really bad about his response. He also, in fairness, did admit to some stuff, but then people after that didn't, like, contend with that. They just, like, fucking swept it all under the rug. I'm not saying it needs to be cancelled, but, like, he was a self-admitted psychotic freak. He admitted himself a bunch of absolute psycho shit that he did. And people are acting like it's just normal, you know, relationship. Oh, yeah, well, that's what you like when you're in your 20s. No, you're not. You're not, you know, trying to kill yourself because your partner has moved on with someone else. That is not just a normal thing that you do as part of growing up. That is a sign that you're deeply mentally disturbed. Right? I mean, has anyone here ever tried to make a substantive effort to kill themselves because their ex has moved on to someone else? Has anyone here carved the name of your ex's new partner into your arm and shared it with them because you're so bothered that they've moved on? And yet, not only was there's, and the thing is as well, like, he's put himself in this position where he's like this pred hunter, right? So he's done this crazy Turkey Tom. So he's done all this crazy shit. I mean, you know, I don't want to get too sidetracked. I mean, I would really recommend, Queen's coverage was really good, and I was enjoying watching it this morning, and I'd really recommend going and checking it out. You know, if you want to get kind of his perspective on it and see what kind of influenced me to talk about this a little bit before I get into the other stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm so bemused by it. I'm not saying this guy needs to be cancelled, but, like, bro, can we at least accurately explain what he did and what he has admitted to? Right? He is a self-professed psychotic. He was, at the time, at the very least, a self-professed psychotic freak who mentally and possibly physically fucking tortured that fucking poor girl. I don't know. I just feel really bad for her that she had this, like, terrible experience, spoke up about said terrible experience, And then for her trouble, and it was legit. It wasn't like she was like bullshitting, right? It wasn't like she was making it all up out of nothing. Regardless of whether you believe everything she said, she has some evidence, yes, that stuff that happened, like the police reports, right? Which he has said he has not denied in any substantive way. So she actually was able to provide some information and evidence to show some of this. And for her trouble, he gave a really limp-wristed response to her, which only really contended with like more minor parts of her story. And then on top of that as well, she accused his boyfriend of being a pedophile. It's nuts. When you see how it's all gone down and how it's played up, it's totally crazy. And yeah, credit to Mutahar yesterday for doing that in the call. But it was honestly, this thing, it was shocking the way that he was playing defense for him so hard. I'm sorry, but what he was doing was not just normal fucking 20-year-old behavior. It isn't. It just is not.
Hello all. For those of you that are regulars to this channel, you know me as Magnetar.
Where's these police
for
reports?
Everybody that's new here specifically for this.
And he showed up there. He sent Anthony an apology.
He sent Anthony an apology, which Mamamax has said is correct. Right? Which Mamamax has said is correct. Mamamax said, this is true. He did send this. Let me just read it for you. And you can tell me what you think about this. Okay? Hello, Anthony. Please, from one human being to another, read this in its entirety and do your absolute best to open your mind to what I'm about to say. First off, I want to wholeheartedly apologize to you for what I did. I am sincerely so very sorry, Anthony. From texting and calling repeatedly without welcome, to cutting myself and posting my bloody arm on Facebook with your name on it. He has said he sent this. This is his words, confirmed by him that he sent it. And we're acting like this is just normal 20-year-old relationship behavior. This guy was a total psycho freak to this girl. It's sickening. Yes, you should. If you don't want to watch the full allegations in and of themselves, Queeman did a very good job of covering them. Okay. And again, I'm not here saying we need to do anything or cancel this guy or something like that, right? The police were contacted and nothing could be done. You've kind of got to leave it at that and let sleeping dogs lie to some degree. But don't fucking downplay this shit. That's crazy. That's a total fucking... That's so shameful to the person that's come forward and put all this effort into making their story so valid, and then you're just going to dismiss it all. It's crazy. Although an ambulance and doctor would have been a much more merciful and appropriate response for my circumstance, I understand that you decided to call the cops and put me under investigation instead. I agree, I was becoming too much of a fanatic. And I can see how you concluded retaliation was the answer. Is it... Texting and recording repeatedly without welcome. Cutting myself. If you had someone's ex, you were with someone, and the ex was repeatedly calling and texting without welcome and cutting themselves and putting the arm on Facebook with your name on it, what would you do? What would you do in that situation? I would be fucking... Hello, 999 police, there's some psycho trying to fucking fuck me up. What the fuck? That's not retaliation. To call the police and let them know that there's a psychotic freak that is stalking someone. However, I have never been and will never be a criminal. I was just simply too unstable for the conditions I was under. I hope you can understand. The thing that I think may well be true is that the woman may be telling, in some cases, a more favourable side to herself. So... she may have done things that may have, like, led him on at times, right? And she doesn't necessarily want to tell the full extent of that, so maybe she tells it in a certain way that reduces that. That's possible, very possible with this, right? However, in his response, we're not going to watch the full response, he just points out minor details that are wrong about the story from his perspective. But all of this he cops to. All of this he fucking cops to. He admits to all, he says, yes, he did send this. He said these words. These are his words that he said. These are things that did happen. You know, it's like, clearly the contact is not welcome. And yet here he is again, sending another fucking schizo-psychotic screed. It's fucking... And again, on top of this as well, to make it even more shameful, Mamamax followed up all of this in his response by calling the guy a pedophile. He's a fucking shameful freak. Let me read some more of this, just to really show you what we're fucking dealing with here with this guy, okay? So it has been years since this happened, and you two may not have even conjured a singular thought or care about me, I understand. However, I for one still have nightmares and pains of you and her from what I did, and can't seem to find a way to mentally wipe it out of my head. So I thought the best thing I can do is apologise to you two, perhaps make everything okay if I can. I know this may be asking a lot, but please try to realistically put yourself in my shoes, Anthony. Pretend my exact same situation happens to you. From what you see, Hayley, who I'm sure you love, moves away for a while to go to a different school in a different city. You start talking exponentially less as each day passes until you reduce to a few text messages a week. You go to visit her and she seems awfully standoffish and unfriendly towards you as she pays much more attention to a new guy friend she met. You try to ask her questions but she won't answer them straightforward and gets angry when you try to pursue them. This goes on for a few months up until the moment when you start trying to call or text her. The new guy friend of hers starts picking up for her. Yeah. Like, look, it sucks when this happens, but fucking dude, you can't move on. I know this was a long time ago. I don't think Max is as crazed as he is now, but with this stuff. I can't attest to some of the more recent claims that have been made about him. You know, this idea that his girlfriend cut ties with him, that Magnetar said yesterday. I don't know anything about that, so I can't really comment on that. But this is insane. It's fine if you want to say that someone has moved on and has grown as a person. But if that's the case, why is Mamamax now claiming that there's like no evidence presented in these allegations? You know, he was totally downplaying this on his stream the other day. God, it's so shameful how this how the narrative has shifted on this now to Mamamax being the put upon false alleged person when he admits himself he was being a total psycho freak. I imagine you can guess the rest as you visibly saw it every time I would message or call her. This is what happened to me, except it's a lot more painful than how I described. Please try to understand. I know I may not have been in a committed relationship with her, which is the difference between you and I, but you can ask her. Before she left to college, I was the one talking with her every day and night on the phone on Skype for countless hours. I was the one who took the time to learn all the secrets and know everything with them so I could better understand and comfort her. I was the one who offered to fly her out to Alaska, to New York, or whatever she wanted just to make her happy. I was the one who would constantly buy her food and clothes and gifts so she'd feel better. I was the one who would sprint over to her house whenever someone was hurting her, so on and so forth. I did love her, and at that point in time, and from what she told me, she loved me too many times, in fact. Perhaps not in the way I originally thought, but in a way to cause me to think what I originally thought. And in that way, I hope you can see the similarities. I truly hope you can comprehend why I became so ludicrous. I'm almost certain, and I think you are too, that you'd probably do the exact same things as I did, perhaps even more if you were in that situation. I want you to understand that, of course, it does not justify what I did, which is why I'm very sorry for it. However, perhaps the events that transpired will seem less monstrous and more human now. I am very much human, not a monster, as much as it may have seemed like I was. Now there's no need to worry. I no longer have that love for Hayley, as it has completely faded over time and has been permanently stolen away by Lucy. However, I still value you two as human beings and old friends, and if you or she would be so gracious as to at least give me the chance of forgiveness, I would be eternally grateful for it. So I'm pretty confident that by this point, like, she wants nothing to do with him because of how he's acted. You know, it's like that thing where people don't just leave it. they want to make one extra step. They want to do something else. They want to take one further step towards you. Like you're backing away. And it's again, oh, but wait, let me just apologize. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. And it's like, bro, you've just got to fucking leave her alone at that point. Like, what the fuck, man? I'll be eternally grateful for it. I know a political student such as yourself is more than capable of negotiating peacefully. Please let me know if you'd like to discuss or even have a chat without having to be hateful enemies. It would mean the world to me. Yes, that's it, Stylo. Those are the words I was looking for. They pretend to want closure so they can prolong the collection. Yes, exactly. Right? And the thing is, I think everyone has done this, in some cases in fairly innocent ways, right? It's the, you know, you do have someone that is your girlfriend and you split up and you say to them, it's not like harassment or something, but you're like, come on, can you just come over one more time? We'll just talk it out and just, you know, just really put a stop to this and end all this once and for all. And it's like, you know, you're hoping you might be able to get something out of it too. And sometimes it happens and they come round and then that's it. Sometimes maybe something gets rekindled. Other times they're like, no, I'm not coming round. You're like, fuck, okay, damn. Like, there's different outcomes that can happen, right? And also, that's normally after, exactly, Grandad's Lounge. We're talking after like a week or 2 weeks, not years later, which I believe this is when this was sent, right? Please let me know if you'd like to discuss or even just have a chat without having to be hateful enemies. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so very much for at least reading this, and take care of yourself, Anthony. And then there's this as well. You got to see this.
References to me, and even quick cuts where text would pop up on the screen that contained hidden messages for me.
And then I met her, and I loved her. And then I met her.
The name pops up there.
And I loved her. And then she started to ignore me. Then she started to fear me. Then she started to hate me. Then she dropped all contact with me and called the cops on me.
Yeah, because you're
Max
a psycho.
found every apartment I lived in while living in Texas. 4 different apartment complexes. I had to break my lease early due to not feeling
Okay,
safe.
I don't want to get sidetracked too much into this because I've got a lot of other stuff I want to get into. Okay? Go and watch the original video, which is on Magnetar's channel, The Truth About Mamamax. Alternatively, you can go and watch Queeman's coverage of it, which I would strongly recommend because it was also very funny.
There are many reports to the police on my behalf because of Max.
So the point being made here as well is that, yes, she filed a bunch of police reports. Actually, maybe we should have a quick look at some of these. Reports of harassment. The reporting party, Haley, advised she recently moved to Corinth and was referred to the UNT police to report a stalker. Right? She believes one of Harris's friends is texting random information now. She was not concerned about it, but wants it to stop. So you get the gist, okay? So the point here is this doesn't prove wrongdoing necessarily, right? But it does show that at the time, years ago, she went to the police about what was happening. So she, at the very least, felt like she was being harassed, right? It obviously doesn't prove what happened, but it makes, you know, I think what is proven here pretty adequately is that Mamamax was being a total freak psycho. And yet, for some reason, people act like he was like maligned and wrongly accused and stuff. And he wasn't wrongly accused, right? He was not wrongly accused. He was a freak psycho harasser, right? There's some claims that can't be verified, so I can't really speak on that. But at the very least, he was a freak psycho harasser. And I think that is absolutely undeniable. And if you don't want to take my word for it, well,
presentation.
What about Max? What did Max have to say about all this? So he spends most of the video, you know, kind of like pushing back against minor details of the story and contesting certain aspects of it. But then he says this.
Before 5, like between 2 and 5, with a link to a video and a message that said, "Thanks, Anthony."
Right, listen to this.
In Fort Worth.
Again, in March of 2015, with really vague and ominous messages like, "Be safe, don't believe what they say." Anthony was also getting messages such as, "Keep her safe, and you don't realize who you have," but we just ignored them and assumed Max was like on his shit again, right?
This is all true. By March of 2015, I was doing very bad mentally. This was while I was in AIT in Fort Huachuca, Arizona. I want to shoot myself for not saving any of these messages because she is lying about not responding. She would often ask me to pinky promise that I was going to be okay and ask for a picture.
Max texted Anthony.
Yeah, so I was messaging her all these ominous messages, and she, likely out of concern, was probably like, I mean, maybe this is what I'm saying to you, where I think that maybe she is like, not mentioning certain aspects because it's a bit fucking embarrassing that like she took action that maybe pushed him on a bit. It doesn't justify his behavior, but from her perspective, I can understand why she might want to mention that, right? But his response doesn't help the matter, because even if that was true, all it shows is that he was being a total fucking psycho and she was genuinely worried that he might top himself, which he then went on to try, by the way. Spoiler alert.
Early one morning, it was like, but like after 2, before 5, like between 2 and 5, with a link to a video and a message that said, "Thanks, Anthony." In the video, Max was cutting his wrists. The video was posted on Anthony's Facebook page and he was tagged. Several of my friends reached out to me to ask what was going on.
This is true. This is what I did after I found out they were dating.
Yes, I did do that absolutely insane thing, correct? No. You gotta be shitting me.
This is something I've regretted for the past 8 years of my life. It is why I publicly apologized to her and her boyfriend years later, and it is why I've publicly admitted to it in a video for my 100K Q&A.
And then I met her, and I loved her, and then she started to ignore me. Then she started to fear me. Then she started to hate me. Then she dropped all contact with me and called the cops on me. Depression. Suicide.
I think it's obvious why I took this down years ago. It was selfish and it was cruel. I am not afraid to own up to it or talk about it, and I've talked about it to many people ever since.
It was a great talk. I showed him the video that I posted about me doing that thing with my arm.
But since they have delivered...
By the way, I'm going to credit Creamer with this, because I got this directly from his stream after watching it. And, what does this remind you of, guys? Private Pile, isn't it? Oh my god, man.
Deliberately violated my privacy and leaked this very personal story of my life. I feel I don't have any other choice but to divulge. They claimed they called a wellness check so they can look like the good guys.
Anthony called emergency services to do a wellness check.
A wellness check never came, and it is certainly not the way Anthony portrayed it when he first texted me after he saw
Okay, wait. So again, like I say, there's details of her story which are presented in a certain way, I agree, to make her look better. That's true. Okay? But pointing that out doesn't really change the substance of the story that's being made. You did some crazy shit and they contacted the police on you, is what happened. That's the true story of what happened. And they're presenting it in a more positive light. But look at this first message.
The way Anthony portrayed it when he...
Please help me. Bear in mind, Anthony is this girl's new boyfriend. So, like, he's expecting the new boyfriend to be very kind and considerate to him, when he's just put a video up of some insane schizo self-harm shit on Facebook atting him. What the fuck is that video?
He first texted me after he saw the
You're done.
video.
We filed reports and have a detective assigned to your case. If you come near me or Haley, you'll be arrested by the police. Do not contact us ever again. Yeah. Like, how do you think this makes you look good, my man? Like, okay, so they called it a wellness check and they just called the police on you angrily. Yeah, rightly so. Maybe they should have been more clear about that. But it's totally fucking reasonable when you're being a complete psycho, harassing and stalking this fucking poor woman. What the fuck are you on, bro?
This is the man who saved my life, where he found me wrapping my belt around my neck at the stairwell where I was going to hang myself. My brothers in the army are the only reason why I am still alive, and I am forever grateful to them. Do not let Haley and Anthony lie to you. They did not care. They filed police reports which do appear to be real, although I couldn't tell you because I was never charged, I was never asked to appear in court, and I was never mailed any notice. I did receive...
So notice that. He is essentially agreeing they're real, but he's obfuscating by claiming he was never arrested, never charged, etc., which is probably true, but that doesn't change the fact that these reports are then real, and it means that she did feel this way about it at the time, and so it does back up her story.
Received 1 or 2 different phone calls from the police department of Denton on separate occasions to tell me to stop stalking Haley. Being that I was about 1,000 miles away in Fort Huachuca, Arizona, where I remained to be until the end of 2015, I don't see how that's possible.
I was far away, so it's irrelevant that I was stalking them and I got told to stop. Bro. Part of the stalking was you messaging and texting them, so it doesn't matter how far away you were. You could have been in fucking Timbuktu, for all it matters.
But damn, go off, sis. And again, I do not know...
Did you hear that? That's where the meme came from.
I don't see how that's possible. But damn, go off, sis. And again, I do not know how to find people. I'm done listening to her. More than an entire third of my life has passed since this happened.
I love the way that, God, it is honestly so... When you think about it, of how shameless this guy has been, and then he goes on to call the new guy a pedo in this same video, it's disgusting. It's totally disgusting. But then, fortunately, Mamamax had some friends that came out to play defense for him. Well, I don't want to spoil it too much. Anyway... Let me just tell you what I think the way you would speak about this, right? Because I don't believe in, like, cancelling people. And I don't believe in, like, the court of public opinion punishing people, right? But I think the way that you talk about this is you say, yeah, there was some pretty despicable, crazed behaviour here. You know, there was some pretty disgusting acts engaged in. And harassment and stalking happened. That's really fucking bad. And it needs to be sure that this never happens again because it's completely unacceptable behaviour. Or something like that, right? Like... You don't have to tell the guy to delete his fucking channel, but at the very least, you talk about it accurately and what actually happened and point out the issues that were at play. That's what I would do anyway. But we've got a little clip here. And again, this is courtesy of Creeman. Creeman is the... I was watching his stream yesterday and I thought, damn, I've got to fucking say some of this stuff because it's crazy. So this is Some Ordinary Gamers, Some Ordinary Podcast, which has got Mutahar and some other people on, talking about the allegations after they came out.
I actually just watched the Mamamax video, his latest video.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
Oh, dude, that is such a fucked up. So what happened with Mamamax? For anybody in the audience wondering, Mamamax was a guy that hunts, for absolute friend of the show, personal friend. He like fucking. He hunts pedophiles. He hunts like bad people, you know, really.
We'll come back to that later, by the way. Because this isn't necessarily about Mutahar. He's obviously playing into it here, but I hear this a lot about Mamamax, right? This is what I've always heard about the guy previously. Is, well, he hunts bad guys. He hunts predators, okay? I hear that a lot. And we're going to have a little, hence the title of the stream, we will be having a little look into that and seeing what's what with that, okay? We will be having a little dig around into that. I get it, right? I get it. Like, Mutahar's friends with this guy. I get that you don't want to talk about your friend being accused of stuff, but you don't get to do it in a way where you just sweep up the worst of what he's done. That's crazy. Just don't talk about it at all then and leave it alone. Because when you talk about it and play defense for him, I mean, it's just, I don't know, like, it's really bad, isn't it? It's so crazy that this poor fucking woman came forward with this story with evidence, and, you know, he was replied with a really shitty response in which he admitted to a lot of the bad shit that he'd done, and people just go on to act like it's no big deal. Anyway.
Really disgusting, sick fucks on the internet. So he got canceled last week because apparently like all of his exes came in unison and they like fucking formed 5
of them. That's crazy. Yeah, oh my god.
They formed the Avengers threat against him, right? So
they did.
Now
there was like they all had their Infinity Stone and they fucking completed the Power Glove and made a video on YouTube.
100%. Like
I don't even have a problem with people being friends with them if they want. That's their decision. I would never judge someone for choosing to be friends with someone even if they've done something wrong. The problem is the sweeping. That's the issue with this.
Thanos got them all, like fucking all that, like it was insane. So these girls all get together, right? And they make like 3 girls in one video jump in and they like lambast him, right? So it went from like he's a really shitty boyfriend to, you know, really shitty boyfriend early on, which anybody in their early 20s, like early, I'll tell you right now, like I was a pretty shitty guy, I would say. Like
what? Were you fucking wait? Were you reported to the police for stalking a woman? Wait, what? Were you carving your someone's name into your arm and putting it on Facebook? Bro, it's crazy how much he gets downplayed.
Relationships, like I was young, you know, like obviously we all say things that are pretty dumb when we're like in our early 20s, like 19 years of age. Not saying that that's okay, but it's like to think that somebody after 6-7 years doesn't change as a person, pretty disingenuous.
Yeah.
But so like he gets canceled by this one girl. The other one comes in and she throws in like a sexual assault allegation, doesn't really build upon it, which it, you know, it becomes a he said, she said, like to put it bluntly. And then the third girl comes in and she's like the most excited person to discuss her like trauma, which to me was like super wild.
Yeah.
Anyways, all these girls come in, they bring up all these like allegations.
And the thing is as well is recognizing the faults that you made and moving forward from them is how you change. Has Mamamax truly done that? I don't know. You know, I'm willing to believe that he's not out here stalking women still, but there are, you know, the trouble is there's newer allegations, which obviously you can't really attest to. I agree that some of the girls' stories were a bit, like, off, and I didn't really agree with some of the way it was presented. Okay. However, again, there is the hypocrisy, because if Mamamax found out about the stories that were told about someone he hated, he'd fucking put that on blast. Do you see what I mean? He would be all over it like white on rice. And the fact that Mamamax himself has owned up to the worst of the allegations, and, you know, now they're going to sit here, you know, obviously you probably can figure out by now, they're going to sit here and act like it's no big deal, is wild to me. Because you don't have to haul him over the coals. You don't have to cancel him. All you have to do is go, yeah, he did some real fucked up shit, and I was really fucking, you know, appalled by it or something, right? Or don't talk about it at all if you don't want to fucking get into it. But to downplay it like this is wild.
And for me, I'm like, I typically do believe like anybody that's throwing out an allegation, like I have a belief like if you're out there to throw an allegation when the world is against you, I think that leads a little bit, you know, of credibility. It's like, oh, you're putting yourself out there, you know, the whole world's going to lambast you. Right, especially the other side that's far larger.
To really be pushing it to just be making the whole thing up, right? Obviously,
exactly, right. Like that's what I'm going to think of. But at the same time, like obviously, wait for both sides, because clearly in a relationship, there's two sides to these scenarios. So Max makes this video 2 days ago, and he fucking...
Yeah, I heard Max's side, and he said, I was a psychotic freak. I'm like, yeah, he said, I waited for both sides, and he said, yeah, I did put a thing on Facebook and be carving his name into my arm. Yes, I did send an apology for stalking and harassing her. Yes, I did do those things. And you're acting like that never happened.
Calls out like every single like allegation to be BS. Like he calls out all the irregularities, all the problems, all the faults.
This is shameless.
He brings up all the contradictions. This is like lawyer masterclass.
This dude, he had receipts
I mean,
from like,
that's what he does.
He had receipts from like text messages on a flip phone from like 5 years ago. Like he
and
really was serious.
Unbiased opinion, like so I've known Max for years, randomly. Like when I was first started to like make commentary videos in 2016, he was like in a small Skype community I was in.
It's
I mean,
fucking
I had like 4,000 subs or something. So I've known him forever, back when he was doing like animations, kind of like pre-era of what he's really gotten into now. Always seemed like a super nice guy. But of course, everyone, you know, really has their demons. But like I recently became aware of this like 3 days ago. I saw the video pop up initially from the girls that made this YouTube video. And then I watched another video from Max, which was actually like a month or two old, where it looked like he was getting ahead of it, but he was doing an interview with another smaller commentary YouTuber.
Beckett,
yeah. Okay. And I watched that, and I didn't watch the whole video from the girls, but the gist of what I got was like, Max is mean. He was mean to me.
That's what we're boiling it down to. Max was mean to me. Is that all we're going to say about that? Max was mean to me. Max reported to the police for uploading a fucking video of him cutting a name into his arm on Facebook. What? Dude, it's fucking nuts. This is the craziest shit I've fucking heard, an allegation. And the thing is, I didn't know, because I remember when it happened, he released this response, and I thought this response, I covered it, and I said that I'm pretty sure I pointed out some of the, you know, the shit in it. I can't recall exactly. But I do remember that I was like, yeah, this Max guy seems like a total fucking freak. And then nothing really happened, and that was it. And I can see why now. It's because a bunch of people were acting like nothing happened when stuff did happen. Oh my God, man, it's nuts.
And then one of the girls, his main girlfriend, her biggest gripe was that he was 18 and I was, or like we started talking when I was 17.
Yeah, and he said he was 18.
Like that was her big, that was like
20.
that was her case. And then like he waited till I was 18 until we started dating. I don't know. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was her.
Yeah, it was.
And then
I was like, dude, you were like 17, almost 18, and I guess said he was 18, but was really 20 at the time or something. But I'm like, you basically are both teenagers.
It's interesting.
Really
why did he? Okay, but then the thing is about that. Why lie? Why lie about your age then? Like, I agree, 17 and 20 is no big deal, but like, why would you lie about it then? You would just be honest about your age because you don't think it's a big deal. I mean, again, the problem with that woman's claim, she was the Australian one, if you weren't going and watching it, is there wasn't really enough meat on the bone of the allegation and proof to demonstrate anything, in my opinion. So it was a bit flimsy. And I think that by having the other two women included in that one video, I think it means that it's easy to pick holes apart in kind of what's going on. And I think if Mutahar was to come to me in the past and say, how should I do it? Knowing what I know now, I'd say, well, just do Haley's story. Like, focus on that because that's the strongest one with all the evidence in. And if the other people want to tell a story, they can. But you need to make this the fucking bolted on. This is the fucking situation. These are the allegations. Boom, boom, boom. You know?
Because she even said in his video that she was just 18, so it's like obviously there's a fallacy, there's a contradiction, and anytime you make an allegation and you're the one that contradictions keep coming out, that's a problem. Now, before Max made his video, this one video from the girls got taken down for a privacy complaint. And it was made out like Max was trying to suppress his stuff. Of course. To me, it already came across as disingenuous from the guy's side because they failed to account for the fact that they leaked out his driver's license, which is not something you want to be doing, right?
No,
probably.
Like, also, they're like focusing on, like they're poking holes to discredit the accusers, even though that's like, yeah, it's a bad form. But I don't think that the intent was ever to, you know, to dox him or something. I think what happened was they included his unredacted name on a driver's license, right? And then they re-uploaded it and redacted everything except his first name, Max, which everyone obviously knows already.
But not a good look.
Taken down by YouTube.
Absolutely, that's a privacy guideline. It's going to get taken down because if you have any ounce of something, like if you show somebody's driver's license, you're doxing their address, where their family could be living, anything. So
did they show that? I don't believe that the address was ever shown, as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure on that. but I'm fairly certain it wasn't the full driver's license. I believe it was just their full name, and then they just redacted the last name alongside all the other stuff they'd already redacted, which including the address.
So even if you find the scummiest person on the internet, you know, like the scummiest dude, like even if it's like a legit piece of shit, you still shouldn't be like doxing out information. That's a clear violation of the terms of services. So you fucked up there. Now it turns out that the guy who orchestrated the video
might be a pedophile.
Possibly,
right?
Might be a pedophile. Yeah.
Isn't this like shameful? The way they're sweeping so hard for this guy to the point where they're validating his obfuscating claim that the guy that came out with it is a pedophile. It's fucking shocking. Listen, I don't like fake allegations or embellished allegations. I criticize them heavily all the time, constantly when I see them. Okay? But you don't get to use that fucking energy to obfuscate from claims that are actually legitimate in this way. It's disgusting.
He sent out.
Where does it end? Where does the cycle end?
Like
and
Max showed this,
was this the White House interning with Obama or something? Like there was this whole weird arc in that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like it was so weird because when I watched the Max video, like when I got to the end, and I had it running like on the TV behind me while I was working on something here, and like it got to the point where I was at the end of the video. I look around and it's like 6 out of 5, and then he mentions the guy making the video. I'm like, oh fuck, what happened with this guy? And then he says he's a pedophile, and I'm like, I just stop right there. I'm like,
yeah, no evidence for that, by the way. Just someone's testimony, and then Max's sister saying it's true. I mean, like, look, is it unreasonable to say that even if, like, look, if someone's your friend and you don't want to get into their allegations, that's fine. I get that, right? I totally understand. But then you should just recuse yourself from the conversation because you got a conflict of interest, okay? Right? But, you know, they're presenting this and like, they're completely whitewashing it. They're totally fucking whitewashing what happened. So it's like the worst possible thing you could do, isn't it? Is to just whitewash what is to talk about it as a friend, which you probably shouldn't because you probably are going to be biased. But then to whitewash it as well. Right.
He's a good showman, Max. He makes good content. You gotta hand it to him. Oh god!
I was like, hold on, rewind that 30 seconds. Wait, what?
And then he showed a clip of his sister saying that the guy that's making
it might listen. If I had someone that was a friend that did something crazy like this, I might not like cut the friendship off because I don't think you should necessarily cut a friendship off just because someone's done something real bad. I think they might still need your support as a friend. But I wouldn't like be like, oh no, it's no big deal. Nothing to see here, guys. Someone just said it's like the Naked Gun scene, isn't it? Big fucking fireworks going off in the background. Nothing to see here. Nothing going on. People coming out with black faces, choking from the smoke and shit.
Organized the video was sending like dick pics to 15-year-olds and stuff.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend were following the whole thing like crazy because it was like me and my girlfriend were like, we know Max, so it's like we just want to know this whole fucking thing, and me and her were blown away by the bombshell. We're like, what the fuck? Like, how can this? Yeah, it's like you got to imagine, like, if you're the guy running these things and you have a possible history.
I mean, to be honest, like, looking at it from his perspective, Max is this guy who obviously has a chip on his shoulder and hates this dude, right? And he's making videos about catching pedophiles. He's just scared that one of the videos will be about him, so he's trying to discredit Max first. That was the impression.
They've even taken it further and saying the only reason the guy did it was because he was scared Max might make a video about him. That was the point. God. Just obtuse. It's total being obtuse. Yes, that's the whole point, isn't it? You fucking retard. He did that so retards like you would say those types of things.
Is he the dude that helped orchestrate the video between the girls? Is that the
idea? That's the dude. Group chat and he organized the video.
Orchestrate the video. Let me tell you what happened. This Magnetar guy, right? This Magnetar guy, his girlfriend, he was there for it. He witnessed some of this stuff. He didn't orchestrate it in that way. He witnessed it and was like, this is crazy. And then other people came forward and they decided to put a video together. Now, I've got criticisms of the way that they handled it, certainly. I don't think that the video was perfect. But to create this idea that this was some orchestrated effort or something is totally disingenuous. And it serves only to undermine the point made in the video of the allegations.
Which is really stunning.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah. The projection. It's almost... Oh my god, that's so fucking...
This guy was tagging, so I remember the day it happened, he was immediately tagging me, he was tagging Charlie, and he was tagging Nexpo the whole time.
Even I got tagged. There was this Google Drive thing, I got tagged, and...
Yeah, like, we just kept getting tagged, and then because he kept tagging, like, I had a bunch of, like, DMs, it's like, how do you support a fucking abuser? And I'm like...
Oh my god!
Bitch, it ain't even fucking confirmed yet. What do you want me to?
No, literally, yeah.
And now you've looked at it, you just completely run defense for the guy. Like, it's fucking crazy. No, listen. No wonder nothing fucking happened because everyone was like, "Yeah, it's no big deal." I don't know. The problem is, I don't even want something to happen. I don't believe in this court of public opinion shit. It's very stupid. But you've got to at least talk about it accurately.
What? Someone uploaded a G drive with some screenshots? Okay, bro.
Like the most.
What?
Yeah.
Like a fucking abuser, and I'm like,
oh my god,
bitch, it ain't even fucking confirmed yet. What do you want me to?
No, literally, yeah. It's there's what? Someone uploaded a G drive with some screenshots? Okay, bro.
Like,
no, there was a message where he copped to a lot of the stuff, which he said was true. He admitted to some of the psychotic shit, and there were contemporaneous police reports that Haley filed claiming he was harassing her. Dude, I can't fucking take it, man.
Like the most I said, I'm like, listen, if Max actually did something wrong, I'm open to hearing the other sides. Like, even if you're my friend, I'll still listen to the other side. Like, that's just fucking, that's what you do.
I don't know. Just don't fucking talk about it. Like, leave it at that. Hey guys, I know there's allegations. I can't comment on them because of my personal relationship with the guy. I'm sorry. I know you want to hear my take. But I would just say watch both videos and come to your own conclusions. There we go. Boom. Sorted. Right? Or if you're going to talk about it, do your due diligence and make sure you're laying it out correctly and accurately as to what is confirmed and what was said and what was stated and what he himself has confirmed. Not, oh yeah, well, it wasn't that big a deal. Everyone's kind of shitty when they're young, aren't they? Oh, what was the evidence? Some fucking screenshots? It's shameful. It's fucking shameful how this was dealt with at the time. Anyway, I didn't even want to go into that depth, but, you know, I couldn't resist. I watched that on Queen. Go and watch Queen's coverage of it. He gave me the inspiration to talk about that. So go and check out his stuff. Just to follow up a bit from yesterday, there's a couple of thoughts I had on some stuff we looked briefly at and some stuff we haven't seen yet. So I just wanted to kind of go over a little bit of that now, okay? So I want to point this out, first of all. And I don't believe I said this yesterday. But I just want to go back to this message that Mamamax sent to Lyrics, okay? Please note that during your recent live stream, you revealed the real name of a survivor who wished to remain anonymous. To protect their privacy, we kindly ask you to promptly remove or edit this portion of your stream. I'm not accusing you of doxing. Their name was present in our Discord group chat. We sent you the timestamp in the link. The person we're talking about is Ishmael, who is labelled as blank on your stream. This is at their request. Why would Mamamax care about this? Mamamax does not believe that names are personally identifiable information. So why on earth would Mamamax care about someone's name getting shown? Wait, hang on a second, right? Mamamax believes, he stated in his stream, that someone's full name does not count as personal identifiable information, even though he did a Google search and was proven wrong with his own Google search. So why would he make such a big stink about a privacy issue just because someone's first name is shown on a live stream? That doesn't make any sense. He doesn't think a name is personal identifiable information. So why was he so keen to get him to take the stream down? Bit weird, isn't it? Little bit weird, little bit odd. Little bit unusual. Little bit strange. And also on top of that as well, he also put up a Patreon update as well following the stream. Quick update. Last night's 8-hour live stream is temporarily private at a survivor's request. And this is something that I've noticed about Mamamax, right? When there's something that happens that could be interpreted as him covering his own ass or doing something to protect or defend himself, there's always some survivor that comes out the wood. Oh, it's because of a survivor that we need to do this. Right? Have you noticed that about him? It's always because of some survivor somewhere we need to take a certain action that just so happens to somewhat protect or defend me in some way. Almost like he's using victims as a shield, in my opinion. Anyway, we featured new experiences from within the cult, addressed criticisms and rumors, and listened to different viewpoints. Despite fun moments, we're cautious about spreading harmful narratives as our aim to foster open dialogue faced many challenges. Considering audience concerns, we're pausing online activities until we've properly addressed the situation through official channels. We'll re-release the stream when the first part of the upcoming documentary is published. Thank you for your patience as we manage this responsibly. Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder what parts won't be included in that upload.
My name is Chud Striker. In last night's 8-hour live stream, I was blown the fuck out by multiple people as my story started to unravel at the seams. In order to stop people from seeing that, I'm deciding to use a survivor as a shield in order to act like there's some privacy complaint, when I don't actually think that a first name is a privacy concern, and I said so myself yesterday, and I'm going to get people to take down their streams, so in order to defend myself from some of the damage.
Anyway, there we go. That's my Chud Striker impression. So anyway, that was that was me yesterday. That was me having a little look earlier at what's going on, because I've covered this portion. I've covered Mamamax kind of quite extensively and all the stuff that's happened. But yeah, I saw this when I was looking at it this morning, and yeah, I just was a bit intrigued by this. It's kind of curious. All of this is quite curious to me. So anyway, the stream got taken down. Now, there's a few other quick elements that I didn't catch in the stream because I didn't watch all of it, okay? But someone gave like a kind of summary of what happened here on the YouTube drama forum, which is actually quite a good source of information I found. So it goes over some of the stuff that we watched. So I didn't see this bit. New survivors spoke up. They were articulate, but still no concrete evidence shown, unfortunately. Claims a lawyer advised Max not to pursue a civil case, but report to the police in person. Okay. Obviously, we saw the Lyric stuff. We saw the Mutahar stuff. And then, this bit is what got me interested. This bit is what piqued my interest. Okay. When asked about his possibly faked content, so we're going to be looking at this in a sec. Okay. Mamamax responded with, my videos ride the line of fiction versus non-fiction, but the predators are always real. There's not even a denial. Cartoon Inc. and Casey and IMVU are major story elements painted as completely real, and he claimed up until now that they were. So, I don't know the ins and outs of his old work. I just presumed that with all the big stink that he makes about hunting preds and stuff like that, I thought he'd done something somewhere, right? But then I got to thinking, this question. Is there any proof or evidence that Mamamax has not just got anyone charged or prosecuted? Is there any proof that he's even got anyone arrested that we can see? Because if, as he said he has been a predator hunter for 5 years, you would expect that in all that work and all that effort, you'd have at least got a few people arrested and off the streets at least. Right? Like, I don't think that's too much to ask. I can go to predator poachers who, yeah, I think there's valid criticisms for, right? But if I go to predator poachers, and the most recent video is some montage thing, some highlight reel. But if I look at the last video, it says, creepy 72-year-old girl soccer coach gets arrested. And then when I click on it, right, I can go to a timestamp here at the end that says the cops. So let's just have a watch. And this is the last video that he uploaded in regards to an investigation. This guy is not perfect, but let's see what happens with his videos.
So if y'all...
I'd rather go without that. I'd take 2 minutes no, but I can't take by
Okay. Right. But one of the messages verbatim said you won't have 13. So how could that have happened? Because you even told me like a while ago that hey, so maybe down the line
we would have talked about it and see what happened, and and when it came to the part of having, I wouldn't say to act.
So what would the alternative have been?
Anyway.
Would that have been maybe something you give her?
If she wanted it.
Okay. So if she wanted it tonight, would you have maybe?
I don't know about tonight.
Okay. Just be
now,
honest.
one thing I will say is that YouTube changed their rules. And they said that if you want to do the predator catcher stuff, you must involve the authorities. And they will take down videos that do not involve the authorities doing this stuff. So I think that this is more so because he has to, rather than because he thinks it's the right thing to do. But at the very least, regardless of that, the police are involved, and I guess they're going to arrest this guy.
No, okay. Well, okay, you the Walmart quite a lot. Oh, of course. You know what I mean? Yeah, and we've done this, and we haven't arrested.
So they're talking, and then presumably they're talking to him.
Sickest looking boys. No, I'm just kidding.
And then there we go. He gets arrested. So I can be fairly confident knowing that whatever criticism I've got of predator poachers, I could be fairly confident that he is at least getting people arrested at the very least. Whether or not they get charged and prosecuted, who knows? But he is getting at least some result that can be pointed to, right? Where can I see this from Mamamax? Mamamax has been in the predator hunting business for 5 years now. Where's Mamamax's version of this? Where can I look at a list of people that he's managed to put away? Where can I look that up? How can I investigate that? Is it possible? Is there any? Is there a single person that Mamamax can point to that he can claim conclusively was arrested as a result of one of his investigations or reports? Where? Yeah, he likes to not only bandy himself about as some sort of predator catcher, but on top of that as well, he enjoys protection from other bigger YouTubers who will describe him as going after bad guys. Okay, well, what's the result of that then? Where is that happening? Now, there is one thing that is shown as a kind of proof, I guess, of something happening. And Lyrics, to be honest, Lyrics kind of fucked this up, but it's not that big a deal because we can do the calculations ourselves, okay? So this page here is in one of his videos, which we're going to watch in a moment, and we're going to have a look into these claims that are made about him embellishing or fabricating things, because I don't know anything about that. So this is him blurred out, and you'll notice that his name is redacted. Now, here's a question for you. Okay, here's an important question. Mamamax, number one, does not think that someone's full name is personal identifiable information. Number two, Mamamax has said that he thinks it's acceptable to share the full name of someone that's related to someone he's alleging a pedophile in order to contact them, to track them down, to hound them, to get them to respond to the allegations that are made, right? And he's willing on a stream in front of thousands of people to put that information out. So with those two things in mind, one, doesn't think names are personal identifying information, and two, he thinks that it's acceptable to share the name of someone related to a pedophile in order to harass them to get them to give information about it, why has he censored the name of a convicted pedophile? Why would he do that? That doesn't make any sense. That's literally the last... There's literally no reason to do that. Because, number one, it's not someone that's related to a pedophile. It's someone that is a pedophile, right? So they are the baddie that you think is a baddie. So why would you need to censor their name? Particularly when you have seemingly got this from some sort of police database. So this would be publicly accessible information anyway. You know, these. I mean, it's kind of like there's obviously a question mark over that. But then the way I look at it is, it's in a criminal database somewhere, and journalists will often report on people that are convicted of sex crimes and use their full name and picture, right? There's literally, if it's of the public interest, you are totally allowed to show someone's name and someone's picture. And if you are saying that someone got caught off the back of your investigation, I think you would be totally defensible to name the person and put the picture out there. But for some reason, Mamamax has decided to censor this person's name. Why? Why would you do that? Can anyone explain to me, based on Mamamax's own logic, why he would find it necessary to censor the name and the picture of a person that he is apparently claiming credit for helping get arrested? Because I can't fucking figure it out. Well, I don't know one way or another. I don't know one way or another. Okay? However, there's some other problems with this. Now, Lyrics somehow got this totally wrong, and I don't know how he did it. Right? I don't know how he messed this up so bad. But Americans might not pick up on this, because I know that you Yankoids aren't too fond of the metric system, okay? But check this out. His height is listed as 5'7", and in metric, it's 1.85 meters. The problem with that is 1.85 meters is about 6'1", okay? Not 5'7". Why is there a discrepancy between the metric and imperial measurement of his height? That seems like a very unusual thing for the police to get wrong, no? Have you ever seen that before? Where there's been a mistake? Where on the booking card or whatever it is, there's a discrepancy between the listed height between the two measurements. And the weight as well. 100 kilograms is not 150 pounds. That's like what, 220 pounds, I think, or something like that? Let's do the calculations. So, centimeter to foot. Yeah. 185 centimeter is 6'1". 6.06. So yeah, 6'1". Where the fuck is weight? And 150 pounds. Sorry, 100 kilograms, I mean. Yeah, oh fuck, I was bang on the money. Look at that. 100 kilograms is 220 pounds. Fucking hell, see? Hey? Maybe the British education system isn't as bad as I thought it was. Let's go! Literally bang on the money on both measurements. So, for some reason, there's this discrepancy. Well, you say it's not hard, but somehow Lyrics totally fucked it up. I don't understand what happened. Oh, I think he put in... Did he do it the wrong way around or something? I don't understand what he did here. I'm missing it. Yeah, he did it backwards, I think. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Anyway, point being, regardless of anything else, okay? And it doesn't really prove or conclude anything, right? But I just find it so unusual that based on Mamamax's, I'm not claiming anything directly because I don't know one way or another what the truth of it is. We're going to watch the video in a sec, okay? But we've got him censoring the name and the picture of the person who's apparently been convicted of pedophilia, right? And on top of that as well, the height and weight, there's a discrepancy in the different measurements of the height and weight, which is odd, I would say. Like, I'm not saying that the American legal system is perfect, but it just seems like just such an unusual discrepancy to have. Now, I don't know what these things kind of look like because I'm not in Texas. Let's look up the penal code thing. Two elements of indecency. Defines a sentence on conviction indecency with felony child as a felony. Okay, yeah, I don't know what to make of that. By all means, if you little law hounds want to look it up and see, you can see. But I don't know, there's just like alongside the kind of issues with this, like, is there not just something a bit off? Well, no, this is the problem. There's no date, time, year. There's not even a year as far as I can tell on this. There's nothing. There's no information that you can garner from this that would allow you to search this person up, right? I think this is probably fake. Yeah, I think this is probably a fake. Unless Mamamax is able to provide unredacted information about this individual, I don't know what other conclusion to come to other than this is probably fake. What's this? This is what it looks like. The thing is, there's no proof one way or another. It would be up to Mamamax to really show what the reality of it is. So yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky because, you know, it's difficult to prove that something isn't real. But all you can really do is just point to the inconsistencies and go, yeah, there's some problems with this. And I mean, yeah, do they normally put the metric measurements on? I don't know. Anyway. That being said, there's also other people that have raised concerns about this, right? So let's have a little look at that. I found something weird in Max's videos. So this is a recent post, and this came out just after the recent Camden Gerard Davis stuff, okay? That's what I'm thinking, Tizzy. I was thinking just that. Do they even put the metric on there? I thought you guys were super hardline on the imperial system. Why would you bother with metric? I just pulled up the Harris County Inmate Records website, and that doesn't look anything like the way the records show on that site. I mean, by all means, you know, I don't want to do like go and search for stuff. You know, that's kind of cringe. I don't want to do like a H-Bomber Guy-esque campaign against this guy. I'm just saying this stuff to point out that I think there's like a lot of inconsistencies in some of the stuff that he's previously presented that maybe hasn't been looked into in particular detail before, right? And if he wants to enjoy being called a hunter that goes after bad people, well, surely he's got to have a couple of scalps for that, no? Like, because if he hasn't got any actual arrests or prosecutions, what is this hunting achieving? If someone was like a hunter of animals for 5 years and never caught anything, Do you think they could actually call themselves a hunter? Like, I don't know, man. I'd be like, well, you may want, you're a pretty shitty hunter if you can even be called that. Like, you've not caught anyone or anything. So I'm thinking, the more that I've looked at this, right? I don't think it's the case that Mamamax has even got like a couple of stories that he's... I think that Mamamax is just a complete charlatan, like from start to finish. And I think the fact that he was so unable to contend with the criticisms that were made yesterday...
That's wonderful. But how do I make money?
Thank you for the bits. To the point that he didn't even understand how the basic aspects of the legal system would work. Like, yeah. Does he have anything to show for his 5 years of work? If so, where can I see it? Where can I independently verify this stuff? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start there, and then we're going to look at some of the other claims that are made in this post, and we'll see what we think about it, okay? At timestamp 2:30, there's a censored screenshot of a supposed person arrested due to the Milo video and Max's role in reporting. Why is it censored? Other predator information in videos were shown, including name and photo where applicable. The only one with an arrest implied to have been caused by his video was the identifying information hidden. Referring back to all predators listed in the Milo video, none of them matched this description. The only one in Harris County, Houston, was not charged with any crime or incarcerated. And here's the other thing to bear in mind with this too, when I started looking at this earlier. This video isn't available anymore. Now, I'm fairly certain this video would have been available 21 days ago when this person made this post, because they linked to it here with this, what's it called? Hyperlink, is it called? Is that it? But now it's gone. And I'm pretty sure that I saw a post somewhere that spoke about the fact that, yeah, he's removed all of these Vimeo videos. God, his subreddit is not... His subreddit is fucking... Bro! His subreddit is turning on him. I can't find it exactly. But anyway, take my word for it. There was a post that I saw. And basically, the claim is that he's gone and deleted all of his Vimeo videos. Which is a bit unusual, like seemingly out of nowhere, he's just gone and deleted a bunch of his videos on Vimeo. Who the fuck watches videos on Vimeo? And it just so happens to include this one, which is now implicated in this criticism that was made on his subreddit. I mean, I'm not a schizo conspiracy guy, but Jesus, man. Fortunately, there'll be something on YouTube, I'm sure. I thought I had a link to it ready, but I don't. Here we go. Oh, Vimeo. I say Vimeo. Point of view. You're a girl and you've decided to move on to a new guy. You're a friend of Mamamax who happens to be a girl and you found a boyfriend. Come on, give me a break, man. How has this guy managed for so long? See, I've not seen a lot of his old stuff because, you know, I covered the stuff that was there in front of me and that was it. How did this guy get such credibility? It's crazy. He's a fucking psycho. This is stupid.
Recap. We recently jeopardized 3 pedophile hotspots: Cartoon Incorporated, Kids Chat, and MyLOL. And we gave them a spanking, didn't we? The latter 2 did survive, but are now...
Did they? Is that true? Is there any proof of... Can you show us any proof that you've had any substantive impact on any of the stuff you're talking about?
Gravely endangered. Both finally banned in several countries. Terminated from major retailers. Ingesting a healthy dose of
technical support.
And most importantly, parents are now educated and protecting their children properly. And then, as for the predators we exposed, they have either been imprisoned.
Okay, so this is the claim then. The best, I don't think this screenshot is, I don't think this is real. I don't think this is real. The best case scenario that I can think is this is like a sort of symbol of the true person. At absolute best. I do not believe this is a legitimate screenshot of a booking record for an actual criminal. Why? It doesn't make any sense. The name, it should not be censored. There's no need to censor the name. No need to censor the face, right? The height and weight, there's metrics on there and it doesn't match the imperial measurement. It makes no sense. This is not real. The absolute best case scenario would be there's someone else that did get arrested and for some reason he's using this in its place. But then the question becomes, why? Why do that then? Well, I think deep down, I know what the answer is. I don't like to say stuff without hard information, so I'll say this. My gut feeling is that no one was arrested. My gut feeling is no one was arrested and he is just saying that to bolster the claims about himself and give himself this reputation as this Giga Chad Pred Hunter. You can go and watch other Pred Hunter videos and you can see the police come and arrest the guy, which you cannot possibly fake. That would be extremely difficult to fabricate, like almost impossible. In a police cruiser, wearing a police uniform, arresting someone, I mean, you'd have to go to insane levels to fake that, which I just don't think is possible. So I can see with my own eyes the person getting arrested. So, yeah, if you want to have this reputation as being this Pred Hunter, let's see the evidence. Where's the evidence of this? Like, it should be easy. It should be, oh, you fucking morons, you doubt me? Here's the name of the guy. You can look it up right now on the record. Here's a story or information. You know, here's the fucking police department to contact. Because, well, I guess it's Harris County. Would you be able to contact? The problem with this, though, is how would you contact Harris County with this information? You wouldn't be able to. Oh, hey, Harris County, have you ever had a male white Hispanic, 5'7", 150 pound, brown hair, brown eye, male arrested or prosecuted for indecency with a child? Don't know the year, don't know the month, don't know the name, don't know the date of birth, don't know the address of the person, don't even know what they look like. Like, you couldn't even follow this up without that information. It's impossible. So he's provided you with something that makes it seem like someone has been prosecuted with a crime, but he has not given you the tools to independently verify that. What does that say? What does that tell you? Tells me that this is probably bullshit. This is very likely bullshit. If it's not bullshit, he could easily release information so people can verify this themselves. But until he does that, I don't think I can come to any other conclusion that this is bullshit. And to my knowledge, this is, I believe, The only person that he's claimed that he's had any law enforcement involvement with to get arrested. So then the question from there becomes, well, what are you doing then? You claim to be a predator hunter. What does this hunting result in, apart from you making a bunch of fucking nice YouTube videos and making a big pile of cash off Patreon? What, are you hunting people's fucking wallets for cash? Like, where is all the results from the output of your hunting that you've done for 5 years that we can independently verify? I'm telling you, the gut feeling I've got, I thought before, he's probably got a few things that he's done. I'm sure that all the videos that he's done, there must be something. But the more that I've looked into it and the more that I watch, I'm just like, I don't think there's any. I don't think there's anything that he's done off the back of all his hunting. I think it is literally just making videos and Patreon money. He's just fucking... I'm pretty sure he's a charlatan. I'll be happy... Listen, I'll easily adjust my view if I'm proven another way. But until I get that proof, what other conclusion are you supposed to come to?
Or some may have gotten away.
And I hope they live happily ever after.
And it was all thanks to you. No,
happily ever after.
And it was...
I went to the site and found there were people from my town, and I said, let's meet up at the park and chat. It was 1:37 a.m. before he showed up. I had bought a baseball bat and my metal pipe from my garage. He shows up in this rundown car. He gets out and I start walking towards him, but at a distance, while my two friends that I brought along from me came the other side of the street. Yeah. Today in things that really happened. Yes, excellent. And then neighbours came out the house and started clapping. Okay. We called the police and got him arrested. Thank you for bringing attention to this, because if not, a random girl had gone missing in my town, Jack. So he is crediting, what, some random YouTube comment with the most I made this up story ever, saying this is proof that the police have arrested someone. What? Okay, I mean, I don't know, man. I probably want a bit more than just, yeah, there's a YouTube comment that said they walked up to a guy with a pole. And then for some reason, this bit's censored again. I don't really understand why. Why is this censored as well?
All thanks to you. No, I will not take credit for your achievements, because it was you, after all, who laid categorical
sunshine and rainbows
to those
silly goobers.
All I did was nudge things in a particular direction. As such, do not pay me any gratitude, because I don't want it, nor do I deserve it. I am content enough just to sit down on this throne of
happiness
by your side, piling.
So far, that booking appears to be fake. The offence types are not listed that way on their site. I'm 95% sure it's fake. I mean, what other conclusion can you come to based on all the available information? The name is censored for no reason. The photo is censored for no reason. There's no way that you can verify this. The height and there's discrepancies with the height and weight. It includes the metric ones, which I can't see why it would in America.
Cherries and gumdrops
Beneath us. And to confess, I know I always say I do this for the children, but if I'm being perfectly honest, I think maybe my main goal might have just been all trophy.
Friendship.
Helping you was the cherry on top.
This guy is LARPing as some dude that's going to go commit violence against nonces. But yet when he gets on a stream and people push back against him, he's got nothing to say. Some crack whore. Okay. Xylee can pop off on him and he just sits there and takes it all. But yet here he is acting like he's driving around beating up nonces. What utter LARP bullshit this is, man. Dude. I tell you what, you say that you're defending kids and you could do literally anything and people will support you on the internet, man. It's such a fucking grift, it's unbelievable. How much money is this freak making on Patreon again? Let's have a look. Oh, it's Striker Films, isn't it? Not Mamamax. Did he change it? Did he remove it or something, if I remember correctly? Yeah, I think he originally had the amount of patrons and money he was making, but I'm pretty sure he's now hidden it from the community. Oh. Who watches this? People that feel that watching a YouTube video, sometimes by the power of content alchemy, will somehow protect children. That's who. Anyway, we'll get to this stuff in a minute. We'll watch a bit more of this just to see what the flavor is.
Well, even if some cannot appreciate the gravity of what we are doing, they cannot deny that you and I and others have been setting a precedent where the world will no longer tolerate pedophiles talking to and touching children. Steadily we build
a safer world for children.
Empathy and sympathy, harder to afford than ever before. And until we find a cure for those
in need of help,
we will happily keep
ripping
and
tear.
Bro. At most, maybe he got a couple of websites taken down and he's here LARPing like fucking the Doom guy fighting pedos in hell. Bro, this is... I never knew about this video. The first time I heard about Mamamax was his pick a side YouTube thing. And I watched it and I was like, this is fucking retarded. And I said as much. And then I kind of, you know, didn't think much more of it. Then I watched the allegation stuff and I spoke about that. Didn't think much more of it. And then recently, obviously there was all the Camden Gerard Davis vampire werewolf cult shit. And now I'm like, now it's come up again because he's done this stream. A bunch of stuff has happened that's just made me think, hang on a minute, let's look into this a bit deeper. And I've literally scratched the surface. I've looked at a couple of Reddit posts and I feel like it's just starting to unravel just from that. Like, I literally looked at a couple of Reddit posts and looked at some videos, and already I'm noticing these holes and these inconsistencies and this incoherence. And I'm thinking, well, where is it? Where's the stuff that I can look at to prove that he's effective at being this pred hunter?